And I'm Dylan Hopp. Thanks for joining us. We begin here locally. A story you'll only see on UI7 News. Investigators are continuing to look at an alleged arson incident that occurred on campus in the early hours of this morning. This was the scene last night when the Champaign and Urbana fire departments responded to a working fire on Stoughton Street called in by a passerby. A single apartment was set on fire. The resident was not home when firefighters contained the flames. Authorities told the resident they have reason to believe this was an arson attack. It appears something was thrown into the window and the screen was cut open before setting the apartment on fire. As of now, the fire department officially states the causes of the fire to be undetermined. I spoke with the resident, who wishes to remain anonymous, and he told me when returning home, everything was damaged. JSM Properties provided a hotel room for him overnight. In international affairs, the Spanish foreign minister claims President Trump told him to build a wall to stop migrants from crossing into the Sahara Desert. Spanish Foreign Minister Josep Borrell claims the president suggested Spain build a wall across the Sahara to deal with the issue of African migration. In local news, former President Barack Obama visited the University of Illinois campus earlier this month. President Obama spoke harshly of the current administration, drawing international attention to his speech. His message focused on motivating young people to get out and vote. Senior Rachel Mullaney is a student who saw President Obama's speech. At the 5-day forecast, we have great weather coming up. On Friday, the Fighting Illini will face the Penn State Nittany Lions in Memorial Stadium with sunny skies at 82 degrees as the high and 54 as the low. Saturday and Sunday, we're looking at continued sunny skies and mid to high 70s with the lows hitting as low as 50. On Monday, we're expecting rainy skies and 77 degrees, and on Tuesday, thunderstorms with 81 degrees as the high and 57 as the low. Almost 2 months after introducing its bike share service to campus, VeoRide has run into several problems, such as pranks and damages to the bikes. Without needing to put the bikes in bike racks, users of the Dockless bike sharing app have been leaving bikes in the middle of the road or just throwing them on the ground, causing them to break. Student Eric Greer believes that VeoRides won't remove the bikes from campus because it's been too beneficial for the students and the company.
You definitely do see a ton of VeoRides that are either broken or just like missing a certain part. I'm not sure if people do that purposefully or they just break or somehow, but I definitely think like the benefits outweigh the cost.
The bikes have also been part of several pranks, like being put in trees, put on top of a bus stop, and even being put in dorm showers, which not only makes them unusable, but also puts added stress on the bikes, causing them to break. Users are urged to report any problems they encounter with the bikes through their app, whether they are misplaced. And I mean, we've been hearing about this for a long time. You heard about the blue wave, you heard about the red wave. Like, what are your thoughts?
On the waves? Well, here's the thing.
Welcome back to UI7 News. My name is Dylan Hopp, and I'm your sports anchor today. Let's get to it. In NFL news, the 9-1 Kansas City Chiefs play the also 9-1 Los Angeles Rams. These two offensive powerhouses rank among some of the best NFL teams at all time in terms of yards per carry. This Monday night could even be a Super Bowl preview, so be sure to get your peanuts out. The 6-3 Chicago Bears have held on to the top spot in the NFC North and hope to keep this lead against the 6-3-1, that's a tie, Minnesota Vikings this Sunday night. I predict a win for the Bears, hold a lead in this series at home, and with quarterback Mitchell Trubisky playing outstanding ball, better than we've ever seen. The Bears also play on Thanksgiving against the Lions. I predict another win for the Monsters of the Midway. Other matchups next Thursday include the Washington Redskins against the mistake-prone Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons versus the power-ranked #1 New Orleans Saints. For Turkey Day, my picks are Bears, Redskins, and Saints. And in the NBA, you'll see Jimmy Butler debuted for the 76ers in a dispiriting loss against Orlando in a 111-106 victory. Butler's been the source of controversy and is now playing for an ailing Philadelphia team. The Chicago Bulls suffered a devastating loss in Boston against the Celtics, lowering their records to 4-11. And that was a tough game because that was at home for Boston over there. As you can see, the Bulls have been really struggling this season, and with the loss of Jimmy Butler, that's a couple years past, but it's really just hurt them a lot. And if you look over at college hoops, the Fighting Illini suffered a heartbreaking loss to Georgetown in what would have been a solid victory against a non-conference opponent. The sophomore guard Trent Frazier out for the game. The Illini lost 88-80. Frazier and the Illini look to take on number 3 ranked Gonzaga next Monday. And that's about my time for sports. So back to you guys. Judge Kavanaugh is currently speaking on the stand. An estimated 80,000 Americans died of the flu and its complications last winter, according to the CDC. This was the deadliest season in 4 decades since 1976, the first publishing of reported seasonal deaths. In previous years, the range is from 12,000 to 56,000. Severity is based on flu activity and hospitalizations. Cases were high amongst all age groups, which is the first season this is found to be the case. The vaccine effectiveness was estimated to be at 40% last season. Be sure to take more health-conducive measures like hand washing this winter. The National Guard is investigating the involvement of a soldier in a racially fueled fight at Wrigley Field Monday night. Tweet us on Twitter or see more of our stories on our YouTube page. That is all I have for this edition of UI7 News Update. I'm Dylan Hopp. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next update at 5, anchored by the beautiful